Happy Monday. And do you know what? Happy milestone day, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads for The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. But it's not just any Scoop podcast. This is episode 500 of The Scoop. That is ridiculous. 500. Halfway to a millennium of podcasts. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Good morning, afternoon, Bib. Good after morning, Bib.
Yes, 11 minutes past 12 on this fine, crispy, snowy Monday morning. I'm just reposted this on my Instagram now as well.
Nice. If you are on social media, ! Socials, in the chat, we'll give you links to all our social medias. But do feel free to share our posts. We've tweeted, we've put an Instagram reel out, we've shared that on Facebook. So if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, do feel free to go and share our posts. Do let people know that we are live with this, our 500th episode of The Scoop. And then do feel free to get involved in the chat. We are Ice Cream Uploads. I'm sure you guys know that by now. We're 500 episodes into the Scoop. Of course you know that by now. But if you don't, my name is Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads. In true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We are bringing you your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. We will give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We then want your thoughts and impressions. We then want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how this works. It's important that if you are with us on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. Yeah, we go live at 10 a.m. ish. We do work in the video games industry, so the live streams, whilst they are a big part of our day, they do fit around the work. So we aim for 10 a.m. Sometimes it's closer to 10 a.m. Sometimes it's not closer to 10 a.m. You know, that's what the ish stands for. We have an animated emote to stress that very thing. So anyway, if you are with us in the chat on Twitch, please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so while we go through the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories, because this live stream gets turned into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. There's lots of places where people watch and listen on demand. Over 105,000 people, let me just add in there as well, by the way. That's fucking ridiculous numbers. I mean, not only on episode 500, but we have 105,000 listeners to our podcast over the course of those 500 episodes. And we've just passed 2,700 followers on Twitch. It's just numbers dropping left, right, and centre.
Yes, milestones left, right, and centre, I just said.
Absolutely. Anyway, so do feel free to get involved on behalf of the on-demand viewers and listeners. And if you are one of the on-demand viewers and listeners, hey, how you doing? Hey, if you're on YouTube, hit like, drop a comment down below. Say ice up UTD. Nice. Yeah. None of the ice up C. No. I'm not going to spell the other one.
No, you don't want any of that. Yeah. I mean, United need all the help we can get, so why
100%. not? Before we jump into any news, before we jump into the 500 discussion, let me just remind you guys that subscribers get prizes. And we are super close to that point as well. Sugar Chops! That's not what I'm calling Bibby, by the way. That's an actual follower that's just dropped a follow on the channel. Hey, how you doing, Sugar Chops? Thank you very much for dropping the follow on this lovely Monday after morning. This Monday after morning, as we call it in the chat. So yes, do feel free to drop follows like Sugar Chops has just done. If you want to go the extra mile, though, and you absolutely do not have to, but if you do, and you want to drop a sub on the channel, make sure you type !loot drop in the chat. Because if you don't, you could be a subscriber that's missing out on prizes. Subscribers gets prizes, or at least one subscriber gets a prize every month on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. The first Monday of the month, which is next Monday, one person will bag themselves a game of their choice, plus one of these beautiful Ice Cream Uploads baseball caps. Money can't buy yet, soon, but not the very first limited edition, the first run. You can say, yeah, that's a nice hat that you've got there, mate. That's one of those nice Ice Cream Uploads one that you bought from the Discord. Yeah, mine was from the first run. One person gets to say that next week. So if you're a sub, make sure you do get involved. You have to be in our Discord, and you have to have your Twitch and Discord accounts linked. If not, our Discord doesn't see that you're a sub. You don't get added to the competition. It's as simple as that. Nice. As well as that exclamation mark. Do you know what? Exclamation mark Elgato. Because I did see Bibby saw Ice Cream Elgato posting on the weekend about the Wave 3 has been included in the Black Friday sales. This microphone here is a Wave 3 microphone. It was provided to us, #gifted by the beautiful people at Elgato, and it's fucking good. So shout out to Elgato. Nice. Do feel free. There has been a couple of bargains and deals for Elgato products over the last few days, by the way. Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff. If you are looking for some stuff, do check it out. Obviously, we're not giving you any links. We're not getting any revenue off that because we're not Elgato partners or anything. We just really like their shit. Nice. Sugar Chop says, I'm good, sir. Do you know what? Well, we're better because you're here now. We've been waiting 500 episodes for this moment, and now you've arrived. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing? Tears Bad says, ! birthday. Oh, do you know what? I've not set that up. I should have done because it's my birthday on Friday. I don't know if you know about this, but my birthday is this week. It's literally 4 days away until my birthday. I don't know if you know, but it's my birthday in 4 days. Just saying.
No one's mentioned it.
It's such a fucking big period though, because we get Ice Cream Uploads' birthday end of November, which we don't really make a song and dance about. We just kind of we tell you that it's the birthday, but maybe next year we might make it into a bit of something. But we go from Ice Cream Uploads' birthday to 500 episodes of The Scoop to my birthday to Bibby's birthday, and then after that it steps down a bit as we get Jesus's birthday. But you know, whatever, it's fine. Look at my first chat, please. At your first chat? Oh, don't worry, I'm going back up. Chill out, Tears Bad. God, you're talking to me now, and then you want me to talk? God. It's all right, we'll go back through it all. Don't worry. Good weekend, babe.
Yes, it was. I've got a brand new TV, Graham, which I am over the moon about. I mean, we didn't really leave the house this weekend purely because it's -3 outside. There is snow everywhere, and why would you want to do that? Why would you want to leave the house? I did go to see me. I did go up to my mum's because it was my granddad's birthday, give him his cake and have a good time and stuff like that. But in terms of actually doing anything, very little, because I was just watching my new big TV, playing Skyrim in 4K. It's been 10 years in the making, but we got there eventually.
Yeah, nice. Didn't do anything.
What about your weekend?
No, just chill. Nice. Plugged in some holes. Got my birthday presents ruined by leaks. But apart from that, it's fine.
Excuse me?
Yeah, did you not? Plugged it easy, Tiger. Not like that. Plugged in some holes. Had some leaks. Woo. No, it was reasonably quiet weekend. I watched 3 or 4 Fast and the Furious films, leading up to watching Fast 9, which we started watching last night. But then my internet shit itself, and it was just like buffering every 90 seconds. So I just turned it off. Thought, if I've never seen this one before, I'm not watching it like. So I just didn't bother.
Extended cut.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking definitely extended by 3 weeks. So yeah, we chilled. Had a nice stream Saturday. Got some games in with the whole posse. We had Kane. We had Nietzsche. We had Chelsea. All jumped in for some games. It was good. Some fun times. But yeah, Friday night / Saturday morning, Storm Arwen came in, kicked the shit out of the house, so that the roof leaked into the loft, which leaked into the bedroom. All of my birthday presents. Nice. So basically means I have no presents at all. So if you guys want to buy me all the presents, I do have plenty of presents, by the way. You don't. I'm joking. I'm fine. I'm good. It's okay. Tamlin says, can you make it the rest of the week without mentioning your birthday? Why would I do that? Challenge never accepted. Never. Get out of here. Gagad says, it's like you don't know you don't know Graham at all. Exactly. Okay, let me jump back up and catch up. Mr. Man Player, hey. I saw you drop the follow in Baby stream yesterday. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. Gagad says, good after morning-ish. Happy 500. There you go. Someone's mentioned it in the chat already. After morning. Good after morning. Nice. Happy 500. Thank you very much, Gagad. Hi all. Sorry, Bibby, if I upsetted you last night, says Taysbad. What have you been doing, Taysbad, Bib? Why are you upset?
I don't want to talk about it, Graham, because I just ignored him for today. He's in the back row. He's in row Z. Like, I just don't want to see his face around these parts today.
No, but really, I don't know what happened.
He came in and just slagged off Skyrim, and I wasn't happy about it. I was like, what are you playing at? Like, how can you not like it?
Boo. Honestly, Taysbad, how dare you talk about such mediocre games in such mediocre ways? Honestly, some games, not all games can hit it out of the park, and Skyrim is just one of those games where it can. I mean, sometimes games can't hit it in the park. That's just Skyrim, but Bibby likes it, so leave him alone, says the man who plays PUBG all day, every day. Yeah, it's great. It's fun times. Nice. Mr. Manplayer says, I had the worst night last night. The ghost of Gloria Gaynor appeared in front of my bed. At first I was afraid. Then I was petrified. Kept thinking, how I will live without you by my side. Nice. I started reading that, and only when I got to Gloria Gaynor, I thought, okay, we're on to something here. This isn't a normal conversation kind of thing. The ghost of okay, and then we got that. Nice.
It's gonna be one of them days, isn't it? It's just one of those days.
Of course it is. It's episode 500. It's always going to be one of those days. Do you not remember the last episode we did in the studio? We were fucking chuckling at parrots. That was just episode 498 or whatever it was. So, god damn. Lotus says, boo. Sub ran out. Mine has as well, by the way. I refuse to subscribe to you ever again. No. Just I want to subscribe when you're on stream, but if I have to, then I'll do it. To be fair, I'd run out with Hamish as well this morning. So when are you streaming? Go live for 2 seconds so I can drop a sub and then bugger off again. Nice. Anyway, should we talk about some video game news? Seeing as we are here for episode 500 of a video game podcast, maybe we should talk about video games. And do you know what? I am going to blow your minds. Do you know why? Because Cyberpunk is a good game. no, apparently
it's by everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, mine's still in the cellophane. Fine, I'll get out the drawer. Okay. Just there we go. There's my Cyberpunk, still in the wrapper, still not opened because we don't have the next gen patches and stuff. But for all intents and purposes, on Steam, Cyberpunk 2077 now has a very positive, air quotes, user review rating, and it's the second top-selling game on Steam too. Sheesh. Not a sheesh, but just a sheesh. A little sheesh. You can have a little medium-sized sheesh. Ish. Well, that will be our headline story of the day. We'll jump into that. We'll then jump into the fact that Halo Infinite continues to be a decent game. Do you know what? Good game, great game, whatever. It's good enough to get the eyes of cheaters. As Halo Infinite cheating begins, console players call on 343 to let them disable crossplay. So as PC players start getting their aimbots, their wall hacks, and all of the rest of that, console players want to be able to just branch off, playing a console-only pool. And the tagline from Yin-Poole, which is a thing of beauty, says, "A chief concern." Okay, and then moving after that, we'll go into the fact that a Marvel MMO is in development. Could you see yourself playing a Marvel MMO, Bib?
In the vein of DC Online, yep, absolutely, DC Universe Online, exactly.
Well, a Marvel MMO is in development at DC Universe Online's developer. So the developer that brought us that are now working on something Marvel related. And then finally, the Game Awards, which is... It's one of the lesser exciting things to happen. There's a lot happening in December. You've got my birthday, you've got Christmas, you've got Bibby's birthday. So at least fourth place is the Game Awards. But it's happening. Anyway, it has a world premiere that is 2.5 years in the making. What could it be? We will go through all of the theories. We want your thoughts, your impressions on all of those stories. But first, we're going to kick things off, as promised, with a look at Cyberpunk. It's not ready now, Cyberpunk. There we go. Wesley Yin-Poole at Eurogamer once again has this. It says Cyberpunk 2077 now has very positive, very positive user review rating on Steam. Second top selling game there too. Cyberpunk 2077, standing on Steam, has recently improved. It now has an, air quotes, very positive, end quote, user rating and is one of the top-selling games on the platform. Cyberpunk 2077 suffered a disastrous launch and caused developer CD Projekt severe reputational damage it has yet to recover from. It went so badly, CD Projekt changed how it operates to develop multiple AAA games and expansions in parallel and only begin promoting its creations much closer to release. Imagine that. Imagine promoting a game when it's about to be available, not 6.5 years before. Wow, great. But Cyberpunk, the thing is, I was saying 6.5 years as one of those like like superlative things where you just kind of like add a bit of hyperbole. But I believe it was about 7 years or something from first announced. Yikes. Anyway, but Cyberpunk 2077 has carried a quote mostly positive Steam review user rating throughout the fallout. A recent 50% off promotion, which took it to 25 quid from 50, has sent the embattled sci-fi game shooting to second place in Steam's top-selling game list behind only Football Manager 22, and sparked a glut of freshly posted positive reviews from players. This has sparked an improvement in the Steam user rating to very positive, fueled by thousands of positive reviews and far fewer negative reviews since the 24th of November. Despite its rocky launch, this is a quote, by the way. Quote, despite its rocky launch, decided to get the game now and have had lots of fun while playing and had only met some minor bugs, wrote Steam user Golden Island. It's a significant enough moment for Cyberpunk 27 Quest director Pavel Sasko to take to Twitter to say, you can't imagine what it means to me. And then his next tweet says over 15k very positive reviews in the last 3 days, while both Cyberpunk and The Witcher are on the global list of Steam top sellers. Thank you so much. So this week, CD Projekt President Adam Kaczynski insisted the company is not up for sale and predicted Cyberpunk would be considered a very good game in the long run. Work on updates continues. Certainly, Cyberpunk is in a better place now than it was at launch, although there is still much work to be done, and free upgrade for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series versions was delayed until 2022, which is why mine is still in the cellophane and still in the drawer. So Cyberpunk's decent, very positive overall on Steam now. I mean, I don't want to say that myself and you, Bib, 100% called this about 12 months ago when we found out that Cyberpunk wasn't great. We said, yeah, Witcher kind of had that sort of thing. It didn't start off very great, and then all of a sudden, it's the best game in the world for a large number of people. Maybe Cyberpunk might not ever get up to the levels that the Witcher has, but we thought they would claw it back, and it certainly seems like they are doing. What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, this eventually was going to be a playable game, and I'm not saying that it's decent, I'm not saying that it's good, I'm not saying that it's great, I'm just saying it will get to a point where it's very, very playable, and PC was already the best place for that. I think a lot of people have probably taken a chance with this now, considering that it was on a very, very large discounted sale, and people have gone, do you know what, I could probably spare the change and give it a go, see if it's as bad as everyone was making it out to be. Let's not forget this game came out 12 months ago, and they've made a lot of headway into making this a very good game. And people's opinions will change. They might not have talked about it for the last 10 months. Obviously, we have, because we're a video game news show. And every time something like this pops up, we are going to talk about it again, because it's a game that we backed. It's a game that we wanted to be good. It's a game that we was excited to play. Unfortunately, just didn't turn out to be the game that we wanted at the time. So, like, yours is still in its cellophane, mine is still on a top shelf up there, waiting for that PlayStation 5 version to come alive so I can play it in all its glory.
In 4K?
It's no coincidence. In 4K, yeah. I now have the opportunity to be able to do that. It's no coincidence that this is now in a playable condition when the discount is there. Like, people have gone back to me and go, actually, it's not that bad. And they've even gone as far as to review the game, which... It always blows my mind, really, reviews, because people are very quick to be able to shit talk something and review bomb it, but they're not quite as fast or keen to be able to give it dues where it's actually due a decent enough review. So it surprised me that it's now in the positive section, because I don't think the people who shit talked it probably would go back and change their reviews. I don't believe enough of them care enough to try and incentivize people to be able to play this game. But for all intents and purposes, again, this game, it will be I reckon another 6 months, and this will be decent across the board, not just on PC where it was already good to play anyway. So it's no surprise that this is the best way to be able to play it again now, 12 months on. But for consoles, in 6 months' time, I think we're going to be in a lot better position to be able to play this game and actually enjoy it like we was meant to do 12 months ago. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy that they're managing to steer this ship, turn it round, and send it on its way to everyone's hands. Like I want this game to be a success. I love a cyberpunk-ish world. I want to be in that. I want to be in that environment. So this for me is very, very good news. Again, I just can't wait to see where we end up in 6 months' time.
I may have been coughing. This is fine. Yeah, it's a bizarre world that you live in when if you want to recommend a game to someone, one of the most hyped games over the last half decade to a decade, and if you have to recommend someone to play that game in its best possible way as being on Stadia, then you're in a bizarre situation, and that's pretty much it. If you want to play Cyberpunk, I mean, this is obviously a blanket statement. Cyberpunk on consoles, I would not recommend, because, as mentioned, I have it sat here. It's in a cellophane wrapper. If I've got the game, which shout out to Danielle, by the way, she got me this. It was either last Christmas or last birthday I got this, so last December, and I still haven't opened it. I cannot recommend this to anyone in that that state. That said, it was always pretty decent on PC. We gifted it to Spike in one of the loot drops last year or start of this year. Asim obviously got the game pretty early on, and they both played through it on PC and said, "You know what? Some bugs, next to none. Some, I think there maybe was some enough to notice. Maybe some that might have crashed the game or whatever. I can't remember the details, but not enough to stop the playthrough. They both finished and said, "You know what? It's actually a really good game when you take that stuff away." So you fast forward a little bit, PC gets a couple of updates, console gets marginal sort of tweaks. Console was always the problem. So PC, naturally, by this point, 12 months on, it's not surprising to us, at least, that it's getting very positive reviews. The reason I say playing on Stadia, which I would never recommend for anything else ever, we have 2 Stadias, and I don't even know where they are now. That's how little interest we have in Stadia. However, if you're playing Stadia, you don't have to have a 3090 Ti graphics card and all the latest processor and all the rest of the stuff in your PC, because you're dialing into a PC server that has all of that jazz. You will be playing Cyberpunk on the most powerful system that it could be played on if you're playing through Stadia, which is why Stadia is really good for something like this. Not multiplayer, none of that stuff, but if you're playing Cyberpunk and you want to play through a single-player story and you don't have all of the bells and whistles in your PC, then that's a good way to do it. So, okay, let's put Stadia in the bin. We're not talking about Stadia. Cyberpunk getting very positive reviews. I'm happy. I am happy for this, because we went through a period of being... We had all sorts of memes on the channel going through the scoops. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Gagad, who said is another episode of the Cyber Scoop. Maybe it wasn't Gagad. But like we had that kind of meme because we were excited about it leading up to the launch. Oh, Cyberpunk's only a few. Oh, there's another Night City Wire. Oh, there's this, that, and the other. Oh, Keanu Reeves is just lovely. Nothing to do with the news. That was just we saw that. Too smart for me, says Gagan. Oh, there you go. It's not Gagan. But we had so obviously we christened the show Cyber Scoop whenever we spoke about it because we were super excited. And then about a week, 2 weeks before it launched, the signs changed. There was no free information anymore. Suddenly everything's held back. Suddenly there's rumors and rumblings, and then sure enough it came out and it flattened. So we naturally went with our gut. We give you our thoughts, our impressions, our own opinions, as we do when it's positive and negative. We were super hyped for Cyberpunk. We were super disappointed in Cyberpunk. And we didn't hide it. We were super hyped for Stadia. We were super disappointed in Stadia. We won't hide it. That's our feelings. I mean, maybe if Cyberpunk came and dropped a big fat spawn on others, then we would absolutely 100% copper shields and sell out and say everything. Yeah, I'm joking. I mean, I'm joking. I don't know. But that's not the question. No, we at that point we wouldn't sell our opinions on that. We would play it. We'd play it on stream, sponsored, and go, okay, we will give you our opinions, but it is still a sponsored stream. Take that with a pinch. But then as soon as the sponsored content finished, we would still be back to full on giving you our opinions, and our opinions have remained steadfast. I've not got rid of it. It's sat here in my drawer next to me, not just so I can whip it out and show it off on stream. It's because I want to play through this game. And we believed that CD Projekt have never had such a catastrophic, money-orientated cash grab before. And that's what it was. You cannot convince me otherwise. The developers that were making it, which is a shame, because you've got people that have put their blood, sweat, tears, actual physical well-being into making this game. Someone at the top went, yep, fuck it, ship it, it'll be fine. And if not, whatever, we'll sort it out. And it's like, someone's just made a shit decision. They've never done that before. And after what's happened, I would be very surprised if they do that again. They have repaid faith in their audiences with the likes of The Witcher, so I believe they would come good. Now I'm starting to see it happening. This is nice. What I would say is, does this... what's that? The ICU studio looks hella like my house. Do you know what? To be fair, I've got to the point where I can never be bothered changing it anymore because I'm like, where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. Then is it that one? There we go. There you go. Okay, there we go. Bibby's not in the studio anymore. God damn it. Innuendo, says KKB. Hey, innuendo. Question then: could we see console improvements happening a bit faster now? Because naturally, a game like Cyberpunk being made by CD Projekt, who has an undeniable focus on PC. Now PC is good, very positive, and moving even closer to what's the next stage? Is it not very good game? I can't remember what the next level up after very positive. We'll just say shit hot.
Overwhelmingly positive.
Okay, we've got a very positive game. They're going to start trying to push towards overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
They have a solid foundation now. The game is good. Most people will have it, play it, and not have problems. Is this where they start to change their resources then? Turn their teams around and go, okay, now start fixing the console game. So we are due for 2022. Do we start to see, if that's August, maybe that moves to an April or a March kind of time? Maybe not that drastic, but is this good news for the console players? What are your thoughts, Bib?
I don't know, because I don't think their team is big enough to be able to try and accommodate all consoles, and I think that's where this falls down. For PC, they'll have a designated team. PC is just it's one console. I'll say in air quotes, is one console that's dynamically changeable depending on your graphics card, how much RAM, and how good your PC is. It changes depending on those circumstances. So I think they're just doing all in one, and then if your PC is good enough, you can run it at very high. If your PC is not that great and it's a little bit old, you can run it at low. It's just scalability on that side. It's very easy to be able to do because it just removes the draw distance. It'll turn on anti-aliasing, or I don't know, all that PC technical VSync. That's the word I'm looking for. It's just toggle stuff, so it'll scale to whatever your PC is capable of being able to run. Being able to create this game for your PS5, your Xbox Series X, S, and then obviously Xbox One, One S, then your PlayStation 4. With Xbox, you can argue that it's smart delivery, so it'll just very much like the PC. It could end up scaling to whatever console you've got and do the work for you. With PlayStation, I think that's quite difficult because of what they're going to focus on, the next gen game or the old gen game. And I genuinely don't know. I think next gen is where they'll just, current gen now is PS5, but I think that's where they're going to have the biggest win, because all the people who played this on PlayStation 4 that still have a copy, a la me and you, will be able to put the disc in very much like I did with Skyrim and just get that PlayStation 5 version for free. That's what they're telling people that's going to happen. That's great. So where do they focus their attention on? Where's their bigger base of? I imagine the PlayStation 4 had so many refunds that is it worth it at this moment in time? Do they hope that people are going to go out and buy the game again for PlayStation 4, even though they're going to get a PlayStation 5 version for free? I don't know, Graham. It's essentially because as I'm talking it through with myself, I'm split. I'm genuinely split. Like, what do they go for? Surely they'll have to fix the next gen version, but is the play base still there for the old gen? I don't know. Is the team big enough to be able to accommodate that? I genuinely have no idea.
I would like to see those stats, to be fair, because I'm in a privileged position where I can't see the real world. I've got a PS5 upstairs and downstairs, so I play PS5 only now. The PS4 doesn't get fired up. Chloe has the PS4, and she plays it every now and then to play a little bit of Fortnite. That's it. So I don't think about PS4s. However, there's only been like 15 million PS5 sold, so surely the audience, the user base, the install base is still there for the PS4 over the PS5. Naturally, you'd go for the PS5. In my instincts, you'd go for the PS5. You're future-proof. You're going for the next generation. You go for the aspirational console. You go for the one that everyone wants to be playing on at Christmas, next year, this year, whatever. But the user base, if the chip shortage is still as it is, and to the extent that it has been, we've gone in a year, 15 million consoles. By next year, then 30 million consoles. That's still 25% of the PS4s sold. Not that will be 120 million PS4 players. That's 120 million sales. Some people will have multiple consoles. Some consoles will have died, resold, or whatever. But let's say PlayStation had 70 million concurrent players-ish. So just over half of its user base. Even if PlayStation 5 sells at its highest rate for the next year, that's still only 30 million consoles, which is less than half the number of PS4s that were available. I'm not sure. For me, I would say, yep, we'll focus on the PS5. It's a PS5 game. Yeah. It's a next-gen game. It's a PC game that's being played on consoles. It needs all of the power that we can out of the consoles. It's too hard to do that much on the PS4. But I don't know. The numbers kind of say otherwise. I believe same as you and Keiki. Keiki says not PS4. I would say go after the PS5s.
Yeah.
But the numbers, I don't know. But then again, they clearly don't care about numbers because they didn't care about console at all. So with that logic in mind, I think they would go top down. I think they would go for the PS5s and then see what we can make work on the PS4 as a result of going through those learnings. Keiki says, the trouble is spanning generations, console generations. Don't think it's easy to. Just look at Battlefield 2042. Good systems getting sub 100 frames at 2K. I mean, I get that for PC. I mean, they are at a point where PC... Actually, are we talking console there? Battlefield getting 100 frames at 2K. I can't remember what consoles can do because I don't ever think about playing consoles at high frames in 4K because my monitors are all 1080. Apart from the big one, which is 1440 kind of thing. Yeah. Tito says, I'm tempted to get this on PC. On the flip side, I tried Battlefield on my gaming laptop and it ran shite. I know laptops aren't so great, but I would have thought a 16 gig RAM and a 4 gig 1660 graphic card would be able to run it. Yeah, it's Battlefield has always, EA games in general, particularly the big shooters, have always been resource hogs. Play Star Wars Battlefront. We had this. Even we were talking about it off stream yesterday. We actually, as I was digging through the tweets, I don't know if you guys remember, it was added to Epic Game Store for free, and we were gonna stream Star Wars Battlefront 2 because it's a fucking amazing game. However, trying to stream on my PC, which is it's not the best PC in the world, but it's a long way from being the worst PC in the world. It's a 1080 Ti graphics card, which still holds its own in today's market. It doesn't have RTX, but it's fine. i7 8700 processor, 16 gig DDR4 RAM, only 2300 megahertz or something like that. So not the greatest, not the worst RAM. Should be more than enough to play Battlefront. It's enough to play Battlefront. As soon as I try to play Battlefront on stream, my PC goes brrr, even if I put it on lowest settings. So we gave up on it and we went and played Streets of Rage and stuff. That's because EA don't really optimize for PC. I genuinely believe EA don't really know PC. I could be wrong. But I believe they focus on consoles, the in-home, whole-of-market sort of approach, and then do what they can to get it working on PC. They don't necessarily do what they can to optimize for PC. They will do that if it's easy, but if it's like deep optimization, nah, we ain't too bothered. We ain't too bothered. Keiki says they've made their money, and that's it. They made their money at launch. I know they will have had to spend a shitload out, but it was like one of the most pre-ordered games in history. And yeah, they will have lost a lot of those. A lot would have cancelled. The thing is, though, their snakiness was really clever. They held, like, there was a comment. If I jump back up, I don't know if it was Timeless. Says, yeah, there we go. The funny thing was, critically, Cyberpunk was given very positive reviews, PC-wise. It was only once it came out that people discovered how broken it was. And that was because of their genius/underhandedness. They made it so that you could only review it on PC. You could only show the footage that they'd approved and given to you. So you weren't really getting proper reviews. That stuff is bad. That is bad practice. You're bordering on malpractice at that point in time because you are not giving a true representation of the reviews. And a lot of journalists were quite honest with that and said, look, no, I can't give you a proper honest review. I can't show you my footage. I'll give you my review on what I've seen, but but I'm not going to give it a review score. I'll wait until launch and I'll show you my own footage, this, that, and the other. I'll buy my own version of the game so that you can see it and so on. Other review sites realize that only 10% of the market care about that upfront stuff. 90% of the market is your mainstream player base that are buying it anyway. So if you give them the review scores and you get them to click through and get the affiliate links through buying it through your website, then we'll still get the stuff. So they printed it anyway. It started out, a lot of people will have pre-ordered and had their pre-orders fulfilled and then not bothered sending it back. So they will have still earned an absolute fortune on this. They would have lost a lot from the share pricing and stuff like that and the catastrophes that came off that. But eventually, that stuff disappears and changes. And then if you find yourself suddenly at Christmas, 29th of November in 2021, and you've got the influencers at Ice Cream Uploads, like full-on top draw OG influencers, okay, you get what I'm saying. You've got people like us talking about how the game is very positive. And then in 18 days' time, The Witcher Season 2 is back on Netflix, and everyone starts singing next versions of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, and then everyone forgets, and the share prices look all rosy and stuff, and then a few months later, we start to get the rumblings of, actually, it's only 3 months until we get the next-gen console stuff, and the share prices, you wouldn't have even known they've had a blip. They've cashed in quids in. They've already made their money. Do you know, Keiki, I don't know if you were meaning it to kind of agree with me, but I agree if that's what you're saying, that, yeah, they're probably going to focus PS5 first and then go top down. They've already had the quids, so we'll go top down and we'll do what we can for those that have only got PS4s.
What they'll want is another cash cow like The Witcher. Let's not forget, that is their end goal. They want to be able to sell at any given opportunity a repackaged Witcher game. And obviously, The Witcher 3 has been sold numerous times. Equally has Skyrim, because people keep on going back, because these are games that people will want to go to. It doesn't matter how many times it gets repackaged up. It doesn't matter if it's Game of the Year edition. It doesn't matter whether or not it's a new expansion pack that comes with it. It doesn't matter if it's the anniversary, special edition, whatever edition of the game comes out, they want to repackage that and sell it at any given opportunity. That is the end goal for this game. Eventually, they will want to create a game where they bring out a new piece of DLC for it. Then we're a year into this game now, so I imagine next year maybe an anniversary edition. Sorry, no, we're in 2021 now. In 2023, they'll want to bring out an anniversary edition, and then the 2 years after that, they'll want to bring out a 5-year anniversary game of the year, potentially, if it's good enough by then, with new missions, new DLC. Who knows? In 7 years' time, they might want to bring out another version of this game. They want to package it up and sell it as many times as they can, very much like The Witcher did. If it's absolutely amazing, I'm fairly certain you're going to get a TV series of this, because it absolutely stinks of it. It will make we've seen many Cyberpunk things over the years. Cyberpunk world-ish. So if this bangs as a game, you can bet your ass they're going to make a TV series out of it. So they'll want this to be as good as possible so they can reship it out. It just felt bizarre why they just didn't delay it again last year and save themselves all the bad press. But obviously the shareholders wanted as much money as they can with the pre-orders that they had. Can you blame them for that? As a business, probably not, because why would you cash in when the money is at the highest? As a consumer, it's nearly unforgivable territory. Why would you want to burn yourself twice with the same product? So it's a very hard line for them to be able to be able to walk. But I hope, for their sake, in 5 years' time, this game goes on to bigger and better things, and we are going to get repackaged versions of this game, because I think, at heart, there is something there for this. There is definitely something there. It's just how they get it implemented.
The thing is, like, The Witcher was huge. The Witcher 3 winning Game of the Years. I was at the Golden Joysticks Awards when Witcher was there with... You had Metal Gear Solids and everything in the same year, but The Witcher 3, which was some PC breakout at that point in time for a lot of people, won Game of the Year, and people like, oh, snap. Whoa, okay, The Witcher wins that one. Fine, fair enough. Okay, so it means something. And they've gone from a game that people didn't really know, that came from somewhere, to actually, okay, we said we didn't know. It was actually a massive game, but on the PC market, the console world was kind of a little bit oblivious to it, to making a game that's completely different. One of them is horses and bows and arrows. One of them is you've got a fucking neon light in your jacket collar. Yeah. What the fuck? So like, it's like, what like, I can't remember the phrase. I was going to say, like, lemons and apples. I don't know what the fucking phrase is. I was going to say horses for courses. We'll go for that one. Different games, completely different vibes, but they still managed to progress into one of the most hyped things. There were a few clever marketing things in there. Keanu Reeves, for one, is instantly going to buy your game some good favor. But good favor is the greatest phrase to use there. That was built off of the back of good favor. They had done so much for their community. They listened to their community. They delivered. They went above and beyond. They No Man's Skied The Witcher 3 into being an absolute for the players, for the people, for our homies sort of approach, and then just shit all over that with their very next breath. That'll do. If you've gone from, okay, it's like fucking imagine a chain of developers pushing something up a mountain to get it right to the very top. We could have stopped halfway up. That would have been enough, but we have to get right to the pinnacle of the peak for The Witcher 3. And it's just like, okay, nice. And then the next bit that the CEO do is just going, yeah, that level of development for console will do. They'll be all right with that. That'll do. They'll be all right with that. That is enough. Is no word that any community-focused developer would ever say. And that is where this all came tumbling down. It was the complete change of pace. You've got that Marcin, what's his face? Or I can't remember. The guy that was on the name of all of those meme yellow, black text on yellow background templates that CD Projekt kept putting out. He oversaw a team that just went, fuck it, that'll do. That'll do. We'll put this out, we'll make shitloads of money, and then we'll figure out how we fix it, which is not what they did before. I mean, that might have been what they did before with The Witcher. They may have gone, that'll do, early on, and then fixed it, but they didn't have as many eyes on. They didn't have as much vested interest. They didn't have as much financial backing. So you can't do that with at different scales of economy, and that could be what it was. Anyway, jumping back to the comments then. They can't afford to mess up the next gen version after everything that's happened. So I can see them focusing a lot on that, says Timeless. I agree. Ad says, Cyberpunk is my game of the year. Interesting. Keiki says, I went back to Cyberpunk on PC a couple months ago and encountered bugs. Close game, play something else. I didn't even open it. I just don't want to see any bugs. Because it has the potential for me, this is me that still hasn't played Cyberpunk, by the way, it has the potential for me to be, that was alright game. Or that was an incredible game, and the bugs can help push it towards the all right game. And I'd rather play it and give it the best chance of being something that lives on rent-free in my mind for the next 20 years of video games, like the Uncharted games I've done. They weren't buggy as shit. This is, and if that has the bugs, then it just doesn't have the opportunity. They're also working on a Witcher next-gen upgrade too. Yeah, that's been delayed as well with the Cyberpunk stuff. We're talking about Cyberpunk or Skyrim now, says Tito. Yeah. Touche. At the moment, CD Projekt are working on Cyberpunk 1.4 patch, a huge update with a lot of free DLC, also more fixes. I'm not asked about DLC. I'm not asked about DLC. You can take that DLC and put it where The Witcher doesn't look. Let's put it that way. I'm not bothered. Make the game work. Okay, that's great. You've got DLC for the people that can play it on console, on PC and stuff. Do not mention DLC to me as a console player, because DLC is not going to get out of this wrapping, is it? Oh, yeah. Do you want extra content that you won't play? Nope. No, thank you. The games ran good for me on PS4, but that's it though. The fact that we're still having this conversation though, the fact that you're saying that it ran good for you on the PS4, it didn't run good for a lot of other people. But the fact that we're still having this conversation, when there is no conversation what the fuck, Tony, bye. The fact that we're having this conversation means that there's still a conversation to be had. What the fuck? The guy, God bless him. Honestly, what a tit. Tony, I hope you're still watching this. I hope you're still watching this, Tony. You're an absolute penis tip. There we go. Nice. Okay, jumping back up. Timeless says they couldn't delay it again. The game was one of the most delayed games in video game history. I had like three release dates filled by delay. They just shouldn't have annoyed. Chat's going. They just shouldn't have annoyed any of the dates, or they. Should that be announced? Okay. They shouldn't just have announced any of the dates until the game was in a good state. The moment they announced a delay, they kept getting blasted by the gaming community. I think the release was partly pressure from the gaming community as well, the higher ups. I mean, that's the thing. If you understand, if you've been pushing a game for 6.5 years, 7 years, then you are naturally going to get some sort of like backlash when it's like, okay, you've been telling us this thing is wonderful, but then you take some time and then it's coming, and it takes some time. Didn't they even say it's gone gold? Or was that a different game? It's gone gold, but it's not ready. And it's like, yeah, but using all these different phrases that people mean it's a sure thing, but not yet. It's guaranteed, but not quite. And it's like, well, sure thing and guaranteed means there is no fail, but you fail twice kind of thing. It was that approach. So yes, the community would have had a bit of a backlash, but you're going to get a backlash anyway. You release a broken game, you get what happens, which is worse than a community backlash. Anyway, what was Tony Penis Tip actually saying? I can just see. I was further up. I didn't even see that he'd posted so much shit in the chat.
He wanted to be on the show. He was he came straight in. I wanted to call in. Fair. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's never been around the show before, but he immediately started phoning me. Then he said he was phoning you, and then he's messaging me in Discord. So yeah, he's been kicked. He might have been a really nice guy, but then when you start saying these two suck because we're not answering your call straight away, you can get to fuck. I don't care.
Nah, he's a fucking gimp. Tony Baloney, TTV MVP. You ain't getting on this show ever. Get the fuck out of here. Timeless says, agreed, fix your game before you even think about DLC. Machine Gun Benji says they're late on the DLC. They are. They've delayed the DLC a few times already. Ad says, I wasn't sure if you knew him or if he was just a fool. No, it's a shame because we were catching up with all of the people that had comments to say that had actual patience, decency, and do you know what? Just social skills. But not everybody has that. I mean, it's called Tony Baloney. What do you expect, to be fair? What did I miss with Tony Baloney? So, just someone coming in that thought this was a live interactive talk show. What does he want? LBC? And we'll go live to the calls now as we take what's clearly going to be a well-balanced conversation from someone called Tony Baloney. Okay, nice. No, okay, Tony. That's not this ain't it, Chief. That's not the one. Let's move ahead though. Cyberpunk 2077, if you've missed it, has a very positive review rating on Steam. It's taken it 12 months. They are turning it round. I'm still not happy enough to say GG's, boys. But I will give you some moderate GG's for the fact that you are clawing it back. You will get the full GGs when it's fully playable on all systems. And I genuinely believe that will happen. I believe it will be a very, very good game on all systems. Positive all round, maybe not PS4, if I'm being honest. But at that point, I will give you the high fives, crisp high fives. Until this point, okay, I will wait with bated breath and interest. But for now, not quite there, not quite there. Doing good stuff though. Moving ahead. Yeah. Sticking with Yin-Poole though, at Eurogamer, as Halo Infinite cheating begins, console players call on 343 to let them disable crossplay, a chief concern. Halo Infinite multiplayer, it is out in the wild and cheating has already begun. Players have reported coming across cheaters in 343's free-to-play competitive shooter whose multiplayer is still flagged as being in beta. Twitch streamer Doug is Raw Wolf tweeted a clip out of himself watching a clip of a run-in with a Halo Infinite cheater using what looks like an aimbot and a wall hack. Let me hit play on this whilst we're in
nice
this.
shots, dude.
Why the fuck? There we go.
Oh, nice shots, dude. Great. You're fucking nasty, dude.
Yeah, just shooting at the wall.
Bro, what are you trying to... Are you even gonna hide it?
Are you even gonna hide it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll mute that. I'll keep it playing as I read the rest of this. So Redditor Canox HD took to the Halo sub to reveal a clip of another player using an aimbot with a quote, "There are already aimbots after less than a week. This is worrying." What do you guys think? So here are some more reports of cheating in Halo Infinite. So it came across my first cheater in Halo today. I asked him if he was cheating. He said he had a controller mod. Lol. Just played a cheater on the Fiesta playlist in Halo on Thanksgiving. Some people truly need to get a grip. Then we got Courage JD. Just faced my first cheater in Halo Infinite ranked. fuck. So video game cheating is usually more prevalent to PC, although it does go on console, and it's usually more prevalent in free-to-play games compared to premium games. Now, with the emergence of cheating in Halo Infinite, some console players are calling on 343 to add the ability to turn off crossplay with PC. Halo Infinite does not let you turn off crossplay between PC and Xbox. However, in Ranked Arena, players can choose whether they want to play with mouse and keyboard players or controller players. While this potentially leads to longer matchmaking times, some console players are setting up their games to play with controller players only in a bid to make it less likely that they'll run up against PC cheaters. Of course, PC players can play with a controller on Halo Infinite. There is currently no way for Xbox players to avoid playing with PC players who use a controller. Quote, this is one of the reasons many console users choose not to play on PC, end quote, said Redditor May... That's M-E-I-I-E. That's not a name, that's a noise. Me! Exclamation mark bingo in the chat. Fill your boots. In a post on the Xbox Series X subreddit Reddit titled, now that cheating in Halo is confirmed on PC, can we have an option to opt out of crossplay? Quote, besides the ease of playing on console, avoiding PC cheaters has been my biggest reason for not playing on PC. Destiny, Warzone, Battlefront, Apex, tons of cheaters on PC. Never run into anyone playing on console and opting out of crossplay. This is really important, and I think not getting this option now is going to spiral pretty hard into us players on console having to deal with infestation of cheaters currently on PC. We've been here before. Last year, we reported on how Call of Duty Warzone console players were turning off crossplay to escape PC cheaters. Cheating went on to blight Warzone, leading to Activision to announce a new anti-cheat system to go live in-game soon. 343 and Microsoft will be desperate to avoid Halo Infinite suffering similar reputational damage. Game companies face an uphill battle in the fight against cheating, but the hope is Halo Infinite can mitigate cheating as much as possible in the months ahead. Disappointing. Breaking news. Assholes on the internet. I mean, we've seen it in chat already today. We can now see it in-game. Great. Fun times. Halo Infinite has had cheating kick off. More and more players are becoming exposed to cheating. Console players want crossplay switched off, or at least the option to be able to switch it off. And for them, it is, to use Yin-Poole's tagline, a chief concern. What are your thoughts, babe?
This is something that they need to address now. Like, they can't let this simmer for any longer. Like, if they have anti-cheat in place, it needs to be sorted. Like now, if this goes on for like 3 or 4 weeks, it'll be a mockery. They will be a running joke. They will be in the same conversation as what Warzone is in terms of how many cheaters. Activision can ban 500,000 people, but they're not fixing the problem. They're just banning the players who are cheating. They're not fixing the cheating at its core. So if they want to be the leading multiplayer game for people, especially in ranked mode, then this needs to be sorted now. Like, I can't say now enough, and I can't mean it enough. They want to be taken seriously. Now is the time to put your stamp out there and say, right, we've already got this in place. We give people the opportunity. It could just be a net. It could just be a net saying, if you've cheated, then we're going to find it. We're going to take all that stuff. Thanks for letting us know that you're cheating. We found out how you're cheating. This has been the loop has been closed. Crack on as normal, but you won't be able to participate in any of the remainder of it. That's the best outcome for it. Again, I'm just giving them probably more credit than they probably deserve with that stuff. But yeah, in terms of getting the cheating sorted out, going into the festive period, needs to be obliterated.
Yeah. The thing is, it's bullshit. It is bullshit because it's developers have all sorts of ankle weights that already make their race difficult. They have not only to be reactive to cheats and react to new ways of cheating, but they have to get all of that stuff programmed in a build that's safe and balanced, that doesn't have any other knock-on security risks, and then get signed off by first parties. So obviously Halo has a little bit of a benefit in the fact that it's made by Microsoft on Microsoft's platform. So they can be a lot more reactive to fixing the games than, say, an Activision, who have to find ways to plug security holes on PC and PlayStation and Xbox, and hopefully get PlayStation and Xbox to work with them to get that stuff done quickly. Because when you add big changes to a game, you have to get it through first party. I can't remember what the word I'm looking for, but they have to do checks on it, basically. So PlayStation have to go, yeah, that's fine. It works. It's safe in our system. Put it out. Boom. But that can take days or weeks. That can take months if you're a little developer. And it costs money as well. So Halo has the best chance of fighting the cheating battle, but it's still always going to be difficult. Cheaters can just go, okay, fuck it, here's a cheat. If it doesn't work and it breaks your game, oh well, delete it, uninstall it. We'll work on the code again. Boom, there you go. When we aren't asked as cheaters if our programming for your new hack doesn't quite work properly, because it's the whole point of it is things not working properly. We will just keep iterating it on a live build, whereas Xbox is a commercial product, so they have to make sure theirs is legit. So it's always going to be difficult. Plus, Xbox has a team of hundreds of people. We've seen already with the likes of PUBG Mobile that they have warehouses full of hundreds, if not thousands of people earning millions or billions of dollars. So there's actually probably more resources when you get to the point of, okay, this is the big game. This is the big time. And Halo is big time. This is Microsoft's biggest big time. So I feel sorry for them, but like you say, as much as feeling sorry for them, they need to at least stamp down for now. Because when you get to the point where people just see cheating as par for the course, then you've lost the battle. There's no real getting back for it from that. Like anyone else remember watching Shroud jump into a floating Harry Potter car with What Do Heck on PUBG? At that point in time, even if it was still a very small percentage of cheaters in games of PUBG, at that point, okay, this is mainstream. Cheating is everywhere. Even if it's not, in your mind, cheating is everywhere. You've already lost a lot of the goodwill from the audience. Okay, I'm not going to play that game because I'm watching Shroud flying around the map with cheaters. So if he's got cheaters everywhere, I'm going to get cheaters everywhere and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, Halo needs to be on point with this. It's only in beta, so they have a little bit of leeway with that, but they need to squash it. Let me jump back up. Machine Gun Benny, thank you very much for the first chat, by the way, about Cyberpunk being late on the DLC. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you knew him or if it's just been a tool. What did I miss with Tony Baloney? Even that username winds me up. It's just, do you know what? He could have been a decent person coming at it for a good reason. Probably it may have just been balls in a china shop, trying to put out a little bit of personality quickly to make an impression. Sometimes you can make an impression and you can put yourself across as a dick. First impressions are permanent, or at least take time to come around, and that's not the first interest. You don't want to jump into a channel and go, "You're shit" to the channel host. That's not a great first impression. So I'm going to stick with the opinion that he's just a penis tip. CD Projekt Red employee confirmed. Maybe. Machine Gun Benny says, in all honesty, I think a lot of games out there now, even brand new like Battlefield, are not perfect. 100%. That's part of the course these days. Most games, they try to be perfect, but usually aren't. That's why day one patches and things exist. Day one patches used to be the extra fine tuning that you couldn't get because for those that don't know, apologies if I'm teaching most of you to suck eggs, but video games get printed on discs, or they used to do, and it would take 6 to 12 weeks for those discs to be printed, packaged up, stuck in trucks, sent around Europe, put on cruise liners, delivered to distribution centers, sent out to stores, picked up by you, and then put in your console. That's a big old chunk of time. That's a lot of time where developers could still keep working on the code. So what they tend to do is go, okay, we'll get it to 70% and then we'll work on the last 30%. 30% is bug fixes, tweaks, visual changes, little stuff. Ta-da! But because the world doesn't stop now, once you put the game in the console, it's okay, what about season 2? What about chapter 3? What about DLC? What about the next raid? What about the add-ons and stuff? More and more gets put into that sort of stuff. So it's kind of par for the course that games don't work or are a bit buggy when they first release. And it's easy to be a bit like knee-jerky in terms of, it's not fucking good enough. But more often than not, stuff gets fixed. It's just people don't want that. And understandable, you pay for a product. But I think the sooner we, as a society of gamers, accept that the game that we want on the 3rd of December, my birthday, by the way, just in case you know, the game that comes out on Friday the 3rd of December might not be fully functional on the 3rd of December. It's software. I know it's a product, but it's not the same as buying up like an IKEA cabinet. You know it's going to work. If it doesn't work, then you take it back and you swap it. It's different. It's different. And we can always put software and hardware side by side. It's not quite the same thing. It's been pretty bad. I've done a few times with this too. What is this in Halo Timeless or Thanos, should I say? It's cheating. That would be a Cronus then. iCronus UK with the DMR spray and a 6x on. Yeah, nice. That's iLotus UK, by the way. He's that good that we call him Human Cronus, but there we go. Halo Infinite, more like Devil Infinite, Kappa. That's not one of your best ones, if I'm being honest. iCronus, has he switched from PUBG? Maybe. Cheaters on console, just not as much as PC, as it's far easy. Yeah, exactly. Cheaters on all platforms in that sense. There's always going to be some people that are weak, pathetic people that can't just play games for fun or competitive nature and would need to feel that cheating someone else out of a win is earning one for themselves. And it's not. You're cheating yourself out of the win. That's what you're doing, but there you go. I think Battlefield had cheaters on the beta. Can't think something that's undetected. Yeah, there's that console controller-based hack stuff that we were talking about a few months back. Someone had found ways to hack games via a console controller, and then went, "Oh no, I'm pulling it. I'm not selling this software anywhere." Yeah, of course. All right then. But even if they don't sell that software, they've seeded the idea. So all the hackers will be like, "Oh well, I'll investigate and I'll figure it out and I'll sell it myself for millions anyway." So someone's going to be there. I hate to say it, cheaters will always find ways around anti-cheat systems. Look at the new COD anti-cheat that isn't even out yet. Reports suggest certain people have already found ways around it because people data mined it, found it. It was leaked as well, I think, actually. There is no perfect code. There is always a way around the code. It's just a matter of, it's a bit tit for tat. You block one road, they take another road. You block that road, they'll take another. You block another one, they find a shortcut that takes them back over the last two roads and goes back down the first road again. And it's like, it's difficult. They should just have cheater-only lobbies. I love shit like that. Amazing. Just imagine like fucking getting wall hacked whilst you mid-wall hack. Take that, motherfucker!
It'd just be like a blanket ban. Not even a blanket ban. Like they don't know that they are being put into servers with other cheaters. Like that would just be amazing.
Or just put them in bugged servers so that hit reg and stuff just doesn't work for like 90% of the shots. It's like, what? I was on him. I know. I'm using my wall hacks. I should have killed him, but I didn't.
You know full well they'll just go onto Twitter, won't they, or any kind of social media and go, "Yo, your game is broke, mate," and then just out themselves as having all these hacks, and then people will go, "I think we know where you are, mate. You're in the banished land."
Yeah, look at your lobby ID at the bottom of the screen. /US /LA /cheating mofo. Yeah, that's what lobby you're in. Patches and the ability to update your game pre-release adds to the hurry to rush games out even more. So now it does. And the thing is, it shouldn't do, but it does. The fact that games are still updated after they've gone gold and post-launch should never equal games being poor. It shouldn't be. And it's a shit thing that we have to accept that. But I think we should accept that is a potential. Not accept that it's acceptable, just accept that it could happen. The sooner we all accept that it could happen, that game could be broken, means that we put less hype on it, less expectation, which then helps us to manage our own expectations, which then... It's risk management. You manage the risk for yourself. When I say risk, it's either financial risk, I've spent 50 quid, 60 quid, 70 quid on a game, or emotive risk. I've put all my eggs in this basket for this game being amazing, and it's shit. I'm disappointed. By expecting that a game could be a bit crap, you will save yourself from that stuff. This is what I mean, you guys will have probably seen me saying this over and over and over again on the Discord. A lot with, obviously, eFootball, PES. I was saying it's free to play. It's a completely different game. If it's not good, uninstall it and wait for it to get another patch, and then it might be good. And if it's not, uninstall it, move forward. The same thing. It's easy enough to say. It's not always the same. If you've invested in a game, it can let you down. You will see that with me with PUBG all the time. Like, I'll be playing it and I'll be like, yeah, this game's fucking amazing. And then I'll get caught on an invisible rock and I can't jump, and I end up just jumping up and down on the spot trying to get up a hill, and someone shoots me and I'm like, fucking game. And that's me being invested too much, trying to protect myself. But that's the thing. There's a difference between bordering yourself off and not caring about something and caring too much. And we have to exist in there somewhere. So yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame that some developers take liberties with the the leeway and the grey area there for having games be flawless or having games be broken, and there's a long way between broken and flawless. As long as you're at the top end, closer to flawless, yeah, you've got some bugs, but it's fine. As long as it's not broken, we're good. Give them a cheater tag on their names too, so they can be labelled for all to see. Give them some challenges and a period of time playing fairly to get over it. We've had this discussion before. Some people see that it's like the criminal underworld getting the teardrop tattoo for murderer kind of thing. Some people will be like, yep, so what? Cheat me. You can all see it. Don't care, mate. Just fuck off. So there is positives and negatives. I would be open for, not right now, obviously, because we're going to have to move ahead, but I would be open for in-depth conversation in that at some point. I don't know what the best situation is, and nobody does. That's why we don't have a solution. But yeah, it's all good. Scrolling back up, where did we get to? Halo been shot through walls and had clear aimbots being used. Yikes. I can't get a refund on the 2 copies of Battlefield 2042, says KK. How have you got on with Vanguard? So obviously you won this month's loot drop. You got yourself a copy of Vanguard on PC. How have you got on with that? Have you played much of it? Have you found any hacks and stuff? Because obviously Call of Duty is, because it's the most successful shooter, at least commercially, it's the one that you always see as being the big cheat exploit. It's just the one that most people see. It's not necessarily more than others. It's just the one that more people play. So how did you get on with that? This is where I'll always disagree with you. Just because it is software and they can fix post-launch doesn't mean they should. If your product isn't fit for market, don't put it to market. See, you're disagreeing with something I'm not saying, though, Tito. I'm not saying that they should release a shitty product. I'm saying they should release a great product, but software isn't ultimates. There is no yes, no. There is grey areas with software, and as long as you are dark enough, if you want it to be the black rather than the white, as long as it's very dark grey and it can do the job, then that's fine. But as long as if it does enough of a job, so we're both essentially saying the same thing. But software isn't yes or no. I know software at its core is zeros and ones. You can't get any more different than that. But the way that it's all consumed isn't definitively yes or no. And there's so many variables and stuff. So something like a Cyberpunk, that shouldn't have ever been released as it is. Other things you can go, okay, well that's acceptable. The level of fall off there, yeah. Here's what's funny: Chrono 7 will not work on a PS5 or new Xbox, I believe. So they're trying. Give them a cheat. I don't know. I'm ashamed to see Twitch streamers use that to their advantage to perceive viewers to believe they're great at the game when they're not all. People have done it in Twitch Rivals, which is baffling. Which is like people don't realize that you accidentally snap onto someone's head when you're not even at your seat. How did you do this? What's Pez? I did say eFootball Pez though, didn't I? So will always be Pez to me. Vanguard's really good. Okay, I guess it's a case of where the line is. No, exactly. Software it's like a book. It's something you consume, and what is good for me might not be good for you. But there is clear lines in there, and it's never acceptable that something should come out broken. But it should always, it might not be perfect, but it should always push to perfect. And there's different games have different lines, obviously, but there is a line in there where something's just not acceptable. That is not an acceptable level for release. Boom, gone, kind of thing. Anyway, read Blood, Sweat and Pixels, amazing book about game development. Is that the one that Robo Daniel shared for me? Or is that the one, actually, maybe you spoke about that?
Yeah, I haven't spoken about that one, yeah.
Great invite into the process and pressures. Great insight into the process and pressures again development. Yeah, I think Robo Daniel from PUBG / Thunder Tier 1. I think he's recommended that one to me in the past as well. Anyway, moving ahead, we'll have to pick up the pace now. As always, in true ice cream fashion, we are saying too many words. Should we talk about Marvel? Should we talk about?
Yeah, why not?
Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I took Bibby's recommendation on board, and I changed my camera, so you can see what my room looks like now with my extra. Yay! The reason I'm doing this is because Marvel, cheesy tie into Iron Man's helmet. But I can show you what my room looks like with all of my screens now. Yes. Anyway, back into the news. Jordan Midler at VGC says a Marvel MMO is in development at DC Universe Online's developer. The MMO was revealed via an investor presentation. So there you go. That is the next article. Bib, I've already asked this question.
Yes.
I'm going to ask it you again. Marvel MMO? Yeah? No?
Yep. Absolutely. The more MMOs, the better, because you can guarantee that someone who's never played an MMO before, if it's something that, if it's a subject or a genre that they like, maybe enticed to be able to give it a go for the first time.
Me-
What's better than a Marvel MMO?
This is you're basically talking about me there, aren't you?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, tagline again. The MMO was revealed via an investor presentation. Into the body of the article, it says an MMO based on the Marvel Universe is in development at DC Universe Online developer Dimensional Inc. Studios, according to an investor presentation. The presentation was published by parent company Enad Global 7 and noticed, is that... I hope I've pronounced that right. If not, exclamation mark bingo in the chat. And noticed by streamer Miller, but his at tag is at Miller because there's like 8 M's there, maybe more. So this news follows concept art that was leaked in 2019 that seemed to show off characters' designs for Daybreak's earlier attempt at a Marvel MMO. A slide in the presentation notes that the unannounced MMORPG is set to be a Marvel IP based massively multiplayer. A Marvel IP-based, massively multiplayer online game. And that is led by Jack Emmett, who was formerly the lead on City of Heroes and currently heads up the DC Universe online team. This is the latest in Marvel's increasing move into the video game market. Following the success of Marvel's Spider-Man on PS5, Marvel Games has produced Marvel's The Avengers with Crystal Dynamics, and earlier in 2021, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. A sequel to Marvel Spider-Man is currently in development at Insomniac, as is Marvel's Wolverine. Marvel's Midnight Suns, another new title in development at XCOM developer Firaxis Games, was recently delayed from March 2022 into the second half of the year, purely because Mr. T wants a little bit more time to chill out. So in a statement published, do you know what? Yeah, we don't need to talk about Midnight Suns. We've spoken about Midnight Suns before. Looks decent game. We will speak about that a lot more in due course. But now we're talking about a Marvel MMO. This is the first we've properly heard of this. It's in development at Dimensional Inc. Studios. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, essentially, I just want to build off of the comment that I made before about other MMOs. Like, there will be someone who's never played it, and I mean, it does directly mean that I'm talking to you at this point. But having an MMO that you've never played an MMO before, you have no experience in being in that world, having a subject or a what's the word I'm looking for? Looking for a
Banana.
world, shall we say?
Oh,
Yeah, looking for a world that you absolutely love, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel in general, and you now have the opportunity to be able to create a character within that world, and then there'll be a Spider-Man quest line, there'll be an X-Men quest line, there'll be a Blade quest line. Like, the Elder Scrolls Online is the best MMO for me. Why? Funnily enough, because I like Elder Scrolls games. So being in that world where I've got the opportunity to be able to go into these areas that I have such an affinity for is fantastic. Take me out of that, and then I go to DC Universe Online. I actually really liked that game. I definitely probably should play it a lot more than I do. But again, it's a world that I like. It's an MMO. You have to sink time into it. If you've got 200 hours, that's still not enough. Like, you need to play these games for as long as you want, but just frequently to be able to get the most out of them. Like, you if you was to not stop playing PUBG and you went into an MMO now, you would be absolutely fine with the amount of time that you play PUBG for. Even if it's for an hour or two a day, you'd definitely get the most out of the game. So yeah, I think that having different genres of MMOs across the board for people to be able to jump into is fantastic. And I think this could be an absolute banger. I think they've got something on their hands that even someone who's never been interested in MMO, you're looking at your mate who's been playing World of Warcraft for years going, that looks horrific, mate. Why would I want to get involved with that? And then an MMO comes out of a Marvel game and you're like, do you know what? That's the kind of place that I want to be. That's the kind of world that I want to invest my time into. Having different versions of that for people who like that subject matter, that's the word, matter, then that's the perfect way to get people into MMOs. Pokemon is getting an MMO type-ish game in February. People have been asking for that for over 20 years, and we're now going to get one. Again, it's just all about the subject matter.
I'm not wearing an I'm a mask, you are.
It could have been any mask. I can't see what you're looking like, but Fantastic.
Getting kind of warm in these runners.
I'm stuck. Nice. Okay, let's set it off. Set it off. Set it off. No, I like this because, I mean, you are much more of an MMORPG person than me. You are like years literally ahead of me in that sort of sense in terms of time spent in game. Generally, the ones that take off, and this is me full-on wide sweeping statements here because I'm not an MMO person, but generally the ones that take off are the ones that are Middle Earth sort of things. You've got bows and spellcasters and it's not for me. It's not for me. I mean, I'll watch Bibi watch it. I will play. It's just the same way that I will watch someone like Shaw or Parma 1993, by the way, check him out on Twitch, playing Football Manager because I'm not asked about Football Manager. Football, yes. Football Manager, no. But watching people that are excited about the games they're playing, I've got all the time in the world for that. Second-hand excitement is fucking amazing. That's pretty much what Twitch is at its core, watching other people have fun in something they do. But they just don't get me. Once I stop that stream, I don't think, I'm going to play that. It's like, I'll watch them stream that again. So something that can tie me in, a Marvel universe MMO. I've got all the time in the world for this. Yes, please. Yes, please. Same thing with.
I'll jump in that with you. I'll jump in that. I'm always up for trying new MMOs. I haven't played New World yet, and that still looks great to me. I said to you, was it Hazy or Hayes last week that we ended up raiding, who was playing New World, and I looked at his stream, and it's like, I love Elder Scrolls, obviously, and ESO as an MMO is fantastic, but Elder Scrolls by definition and by nature is very grayscale. It doesn't have that much color. It's very dark. It's very grey. And then you go into New World, which is a completely different color palette. Like the world is so colorful. It looks so bright. It looks so beautiful. And I'm definitely invested in something like that. The Marvel one will be great. The Marvel one will be great. If it's done well enough, it will be great.
Yeah, that brand has enough to drag me in to try it. Same thing with Midnight Suns. Disappointed that that's been delayed. The genre that we're looking at for that, okay, not so much. But add in Ghost Rider. Add in. I can't even remember, like Wolverines and they're like, yes, please, I'll take all of that. Fucking badasses from the DC universe. Some Blade in there as well. Okay, yes, please. That has enough to get me to try that game. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Hopefully, Dimensional Ink can do some good stuff with this. I've never played DC Universe Online, so I don't know. I'd go in with this quite blind, quite fresh. Let me jump back up. I did see a Wild West. As we roll into the wild west. Happy birthday, ICU! Is it today? It could be today. I can't remember when ICU's actual birthday is because I'm gonna Queen's birthday eventually. I want to wrap up ICU's birthday into like a good period where we can cover both ICU, mine, and Bibi's all in sort of one big birthday bash sort of window. So I don't actually remember when ICU's birthday is. It's one of those ambiguous. It's always its birthday. What does G play? Hasn't opened Cyberpunk. Never played Fallout. Is that it? Is that all the evidence that you've got for me not playing games? I mean, any game that's ever come out over the last 24 months, pick it. I've got it, and I won't have played it. What do you think I play? It's for me. Like over the last couple of years, the way I consume games, it doesn't have hardly any time for anything like a Skyrim-ish sort of game because I go in when I go into a game. I want to finish it. I want to be really good at it. I want to go above and beyond. I want to live and breathe it. I want to understand it. And something like that requires a time commitment that I just don't have. So Fallout, it's that sort of thing. Cyberpunk is shit. That's the completely different thing. It's not good enough for my time. Something like Skyrim requires too much of my time. So something like a Marvel Spider-Man, yes, please, I will take that. What was the gas part? The Skyrim.
You can quest line Skyrim and get it done in like 45 hours if you wanted to, which isn't long for an open world RPG game. It's just non-main quest and clearing caves and clearing all the mines and stuff like that. That's the stuff that takes time. That's the stuff that I enjoy the most because that's where you get all like your really good dragon shouts and all the farming materials and
see,
stuff.
That's the thing though. Like what you're saying there, it's just backs up what I've said. So I can go through the quest in 45 hours, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting all of the good shit. Then what's the point?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in 45 hours, I've done everything in Marvel's Spider-Man kind of thing. I've got fucking the Iron Spider outfit from Endgame, and I'm like, taking everything. And that's the thing. It's I wouldn't be happy with 45 hours. I'd need the 80-hour playthrough, which then is just a chunk of time that I'm not in. I could go through 4 top class games at that sort of time.
You do 80 hours in a week on PUBG.
Yeah, it's PUBG. It's PUBG. I'm legally contracted. I've sold my soul to the devil.
Obligated.
The thing is, though, is like PUBG is that's 30 minutes and it's gone, and it's 30 minutes and it's gone. Whereas if I play 30 minutes, I'm still in the same cave that Bibby's died in 4 times, firing arrows at this thing, and then some dude comes around the corner with an axe, and one hit dead. Fuck. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
I don't need to bring that up, but
I mean, the most infuriating thing I think I have ever seen in the world is watching you pick a lock while you're talking to stream. It's just like, just pay attention to the fucking lock. You've broken 4 pixels. Left. But yeah. But anyway. Where do we get to? I will keep my optimism in check, but my interest is high for this, says Timeless. Nice. I'm saying, for fuck's sake, I'm assuming that was me with the Iron Man helmet on. That's the issue with MMOs for me, the potential time commitment. And another afternoon beautiful, even. Hope you had a grand weekend, says a Thanos soul to West. All right, West. I like granny games, but MMOs don't resonate with me. I don't find them interactive enough. It's just button bashing with timing and dull busy work. Happy 500th episode birthday! Woo! Thank you very much. 500 episodes! That is ridiculous. Still trying to finish PUBG. I've not quite got to the end of the storyline. I seem to be stuck on a storyline loop. I just keep going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Anyway, let's wrap things up. We've got one more news article to go through. And this one is a potential doozy, although we don't really know what it is. So we won't be talking about this for a long period of time, but it's something to get you thinking as we finish up the show. George Foster at The Gamer has the article, and it says, The Game Awards has a world premiere. That is 2.5 years in the making. Your guess is as good as ours, says the tagline. So Jeff Keighley has revealed that the Game Awards will feature a world premiere that is 2.5 years in the making. The Game Awards are known for 2 things. Jeff Keighley. Oh, no, that's not that. For 2 things, giving out awards for games, obviously, and announcing games in world premiere trailers. Sometimes you get things like Arc 2 starring Vin Diesel, and other times you get Joker coming to Smash Ultimate. It looks like this year's Game Awards won't shy away from big announcements, as Jeff Keighley has teased that one has been in the making for 2.5 years. Keighley has been updating his followers on the current state of the Game Awards, and alongside that, he's also been teasing that the show will have some big announcements. Earlier today, Keighley said, just saw the final cut of the Game Awards world premiere we have been working on with the developer for 2.5 years. Truly honoured, we are entrusted to share this work with the world. Keighley would then follow up that tweet by clarifying that the 2.5 years are mainly due to COVID and the inability to travel. 2.5 years sounds like a long time, but summer of 2019 was actually my last global tour to visit developers. I always have so much fun visiting studios and hearing about their projects. Hope to do it again in 2022. There are no hints as to what the game will be, but the fact that Keighley visited the developers as part of the global tour implies that it's a big project and a big studio making it. The comments underneath the tease are full of speculation from fans, with one of the most common assumptions being that it has something to do with a sequel to, someone check on ads by the way, Breath of the Wild. As that was announced around 2.5 years ago, revealing the name would be quite the world premiere. We don't know for sure until the Game Awards premieres on December the 9th. Keep your tinfoil hats and pinches of salt at the ready. 2.5 years, long old time for a game to get a premiere, especially when you've been speaking about it. But anyway, any idea, any guess as to what that could be?
I immediately went to find out when Death Stranding came out, and it was November 2019. So it's not quite 2.5 years. So genuinely, I have no idea. Like, I thought it could have made it. Well, it's obviously not something like Halo. It's not Call of Duty. It's something spectacular, I think. Ads is saying Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I think it might be in that ballpark. I don't know if it will be, but I think it might be in something like that. But watch it be something so tame. It was something that is not an indie game or something like that, but something that's not quite AAA, like top top of the range
Oh.
stuff that you would expect, but it's something like very niche.
I will be angry if it is, because I've said quite a few times what Jeff Keighley has done in the video games industry is incredible, but his influence over so much content and putting himself and his products front and center. If this news about this 2.5 years premiere now isn't anything at the Zelda or the Death Stranding level, doesn't have to be one of those games, but if this is something mediocre, I'm like, for fuck's sake. It's not even good PR, because we've said many times, be it Microsoft doing the Gamescom presentation, where it was just like, did you need a presentation? You've said something when nobody was expecting you to say something, and it was shit. And now you've made yourself look stupid. You could have just not said anything at all. And this is that kind of vibe for me. If this turns out to not be a great thing that's worth 2.5 years of waiting. I know that's something you have to take with a pinch, because what is worth 2.5 years waiting in video games? What I think is worth 2.5 years, you guys might not, but we'll just go with the general consensus. So if this isn't something that is worth 2.5 years, air quotes, of waiting for, did this need saying? And if this didn't need saying, is this just Jeff Keighley doing PR for his event and abusing the reach that he has with the hope that we expect a Kojima-esque, a Breath of the Wild-esque, a Last of Us Part 7 sort of game, and we don't get that, then that's a massive letdown. Just like we had last summer, we've got all these massive announcements. We have 22 unseen brand new games, and the biggest thing that they had was the Fall Guys Season 2, which was Vikings and stuff like that. Middle Ages, Fall Guys, beans, not asked. Not asked. So if this is that, I will be disappointed, and that is... That would just reaffirm the fact that I feel like we need more diversity in terms of voices and opinions. If someone can have a chat 2.5 years ago, which makes headline stories, then that person has too much influence over the headlines, in my opinion. That said, if this is a Breath of the Wild 2, then that reaffirms that the Game Awards as a show, rather than one person's influence, definitely is a very, very big, stable... a very, very big anchor for content in the games calendar. We've had Xbox Series X released in the Game Awards. We've had other announcements like Vin Diesel starring Arc 2. There you go, at the Game Awards. If we can get a Breath of the Wild 2 in there, then that's just another one. Look, this is big. This is big. Xbox, we've got Nintendo, we've got third parties, not just first parties, all waiting for the announcements. If it's big, nice. If it's not, Didn't need it. Should
Yeah.
You could have just not said anything at all. There we go. Blimey, did you guys actually get through all the stories, says Timeless, today? Yes, although we have been live for an hour and a half. 1 hour, 35 minutes. So, yeah. Wait, is December 3rd taken? I hope not. December 3rd is taken, by the way, by me. It's all mine. My day. Get off. I'm guessing Avatar from Ubisoft. Ooh, good shout. Because that one has been talked about and delayed and obviously coveted. It's a good shout.
Indiana Jones or the new James Bond game?
Ooh, IO Interactive. Although IO Interactive only announced earlier this year, so I don't know if he would have had a conversation on that 2 years ago. Indiana Jones, maybe, but then again, that was only announced earlier this year. Although the IO Interactive one, I feel like because Indiana Jones hadn't done anything in video games, good old Barbara Broccoli won. I think they would have kept their cards close to their chest, rather than an Indiana Jones / Lucasfilm are already dabbling in video games. So they may have said something a little bit further back. Thing is, Breath of the Wild 2 has had an annulment trailer on a direct a while back. An announcement, an annulment. Just like it, not liking the word announcements today, are we? Thanos Soul. We've had annulment and annoyed. Are you trying to tell us you're not happy with us and you want to break up? Is that what you're saying? Timeless, you could say. It was announced in March 19 and due for release next year. Touche. I mean, the thing is, if it's a world premiere, there's things there in terms of like, what is the world premiere? Because in video game talk at these announcements, a world premiere should be the first time a game gets seen But then you start to get people being a little bit creative, aka shitty, going, this is a world premiere trailer, i.e., this is the first time this trailer for a game that you've already seen has been seen. It's like, we've seen the game before, but not the trailer. Okay, that's, I suppose it's legit. And it's like one of those, this is an exclusive for us on something else that someone else is already exclusive. So not really exclusive, but exclusive. Yeah, you get it. Anyway, to be honest, the Game Awards has been a crock of shit for a while now. The fact Returnal isn't nominated for Game of the Year is shambolic. Forza Horizon 5, anyone? Clearly not.
No.
The Game Awards is overhyped and has been for a while. GoldenEye Open World. Imagine. Although... no. Cyberpunk 2, I can't spell and I'm very tired. Apologies. No, it's all right. Don't get me excited about a new possible Bond game trailer. Fucking fucking yes, please. Cyberpunk Next Gen, technically no one's seen it. Touche. It's an exclusive world premiere. It could be.
Shout.
And they've been talking about that for the last 27 years, so that's within the last 2.5, so it could be. But... that's the end of the show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of The Scoop. Let me give you a recap of all the stories. So we've just been speaking about the fact that the Game Awards has a world premiere that is 2.5 years in the making. The 9th of December. You can watch all of the Game Awards, and we will give you a wrap-up at some point after. TBA. Nice. In reverse order, we then, before that, spoke about a Marvel MMO that's in development at DC Universe Online's developer. That is Dimensional Ink Studios. They are working on a new Marvel MMO. No information yet. It's only just been announced in an investor presentation. Before that, we spoke about the fact that Halo Infinite has cheaters. And it's just not good. It's not good. Hopefully, Microsoft nipped that in the bud early on. And Cyberpunk have been nipping it in the bud, or at least it seems. With all the issues and stuff that they've been having, it's now a very positive game, at least on Steam. Xbox, PlayStation users are still waiting on their updates, but good signs. Good signs from CD Projekt. So GG's on the good signs. Keep at it. That's it from us. Thank you for joining us. We are going to disappear. That's it for streams on the channel today. We do stream 7 days a week, 10 a.m.-ish, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast that has now just hit 500 episodes.
Yeah.
Big numbers, massive numbers. 500 episodes of The Scoop. You love to see it. You love to see it. Do feel free to join us every Monday to Friday for every episode of The Scoop. That's 5 days a week, usually. Obviously, that will change a little bit over Christmas because, we have lives and stuff. But usually, there's around 300 and some episodes a year, give or take holidays. You get it? It's nice. We also bring you evening streams and weekend streams, playing some PUBG, playing some Skyrim, and anything else that tickles our fancy. Plus, we stream with our friends over at Insert Coin, !Insert Coin, if you want to find us on there. Basically, what I'm saying is, me and Baby stream 7 days a week. Fucking all the days. More than 365 times a year. Yeah, exactly. That's madness. That's madness. So you get all the content. Nice. Speaking of content, Mr. Bibb, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for the 500 episodes of The Scoop so far. But don't forget, we still have 4 more episodes this week for you to be helped to shape. So if you want to help shape those shows, there's 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this in any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow? Mr. Cream Day.
10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m.-ish.
We will be in the studio tomorrow as well.
Yeah, you got them right. Just a reminder as well, tomorrow it will only be 3 days to my birthday. Tito says they only stream weekends for the double time pay. What? We're supposed to get paid for this? Have you been paid for this?
Not in pounds. Not money.
Has this cost you money, but not paid you money? Because that's kind of what it feels
if it's
like
costing
for me.
money, I'm starting to turn off lights. You know what I mean? I need to save these monies.
Yeah, good shout. Okay, Ice Cream Darkness, nice. Yeah, no. You'll get your checks when I get my check for modding. Nice. Why do we get checks whereas you get a check? Why we get examined whereas you get cash? Tito, what is happening there? Honestly. Someone that knows the Halo theme tune, can you, if you just bust that out now, please? Thank you very much. Where's Alistair when you need him?
I don't. Yeah, I do have candles in my room. I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have candles, but I have reed diffusers. There we go. Show me you're middle aged without showing me you're middle aged.
What do you want for Christmas? Yankee candles, please.
Literally was in the Trafford Centre yesterday. Went into the Yankee candle shop. So I'm saying, nice. Speaking of which, shout out to Hulkamania 78. By the way, did see him stood outside the Trafford Centre. Did I say? Hi, Mr. Phelps, or did I B, take a picture of the side of his face and send it to him? B, option B. That's what I did.
Obviously.
And on that bombshell, I am going to disappear. Thank you very much. Baby's going to stay though. He's going to stick around. He's here for the full day. Enjoy. Now we're stalked much, just a little bit. We are going to disappear. We're going to find someone to drop a raid on, see if any of our friends are live, and give them some love. So stick around for the raid. You'll get yourself extra channel points, and you make them feel warm and fuzzy inside because everyone loves a raid. But that's it. We'll see you at 10 a.m. ish in the studio tomorrow. Thank you for 500 episodes. We will see you for 501. Until then, stay frosty.